Watching KCRG-TV9. Now, from your 24-hour news source, this is KCRG-TV9 News at 10.
Deadly, severe weather tears through eastern Iowa today, leaving devastation in its wake. The death toll from at least one tornado today now stands at 5. A massive storm ripped across much of the northeastern part of the state, with reports of many tornadoes twisting through several communities. The worst community hit appears to be Parkersburg. Now take a look at this video. A tornado leveled parts of the town this afternoon. Tonight, Governor Chet Culver has issued a disaster proclamation for Black Hawk and Butler counties. He says the state will do whatever it can to support local emergency management teams as they help the communities destroyed by at least, again, one tornado. KCRG-TV9 news crews have been working in several different communities throughout the afternoon that have been hit by the tornado. KCRG-TV9's Mark Erie begins our storm team coverage tonight in the southern part of Butler County near the town of Parkersburg. Mark, you literally had to hike into the town tonight. What's the situation like there now?
Claire, so far we know 2 people are dead here in Parkersburg, and many more have had injuries. There were ambulances coming and going from Parkersburg all afternoon and well into the evening as well. You can see behind me, these were people's homes, and now it pretty much just looks like a pile of debris and rubble. And I can tell you, people living here are still in a state of shock.
A quiet Memorial Day weekend in Parkersburg turned into a terrifying, devastating disaster in a matter of minutes.
You just heard creaking and cracking and everything.
All I saw was the biggest black wall in my life. I couldn't even tell. I didn't think it was a tornado because it was so wide.
The tornado smashed and shredded everything it touched. Priceless possessions whipped through the air. Cars and trucks turned upside down or flipped on their side.
It was so sad. Everybody's in such bad shape, and I just hope that people come and help us, that's all.
I couldn't believe it. It's like, you know, it's just amazing. It's like matchsticks.
Neighbors tried to help each other once the wind died down, but the shock was just too much for some people.
He was trying to get out of the basement, and we tried to help him, and then he was okay, but then he had a heart attack and died.
People typically honor fallen soldiers on Memorial Day weekend, but in the town of Parkersburg, the holiday will have a much different meaning for decades to come.
Now, since the tornado came through here, it has also rained several times, and I talked to one person who lives in town, and they said that just makes a terrifying and devastating situation even worse, because now their belongings are scattered everywhere and they're soaking wet too. Now, they have evacuated the town of Parkersburg and taken people to nearby Applington to seek shelter, but those people will be all back tomorrow to start sorting through all this and trying to salvage whatever they can. Live in Parkersburg, Mark Erie, KCRG-TV9 News.
Thank you, Mark. We will be checking in with him throughout our newscast as he brings us the latest from Parkersburg. Now, the tornado that did extensive damage in Parkersburg also slammed into Dunkerton just northeast of Waterloo. TV9's Dave Fransman was there earlier this afternoon and has more now from our newsroom. Dave?
Claire, power lines are down all around Dunkerton, and a number of rural homes and farm buildings got flattened by the twister. Now, some residents think the final count could be at least 15 homes, but at this point, really, it's anyone's guess.
Rick Donahue saw the twister coming and got in his car to get out of the way. He made it about 200 yards and then rode it out, but he lost his house, garage, and a number of small buildings.
So what's it done to you here? Have you...
Devastated, you know.
Witnesses say the apparent tornado that hit this rural area northwest of Dunkerton appeared to come straight down Lester Road. Power poles got pushed to crazy angles by the wind, and the lines snapped. That cut electricity in the town of Dunkerton itself. One woman's home escaped damage, but her friend living nearby wasn't so lucky.
She was in the basement, and grandsons and son came up and took her out of the basement, and their house is intact. Everything else is gone. Well, the bins in the house are intact up there, but she's up there with them.
We saw it. It was coming across the field, and Mom was telling us to get to the basement. And you don't listen to them, but yeah, we went to the basement, and we came up for a little bit, and we saw it. It was just down at Claire Klubine's, and it was just huge, and it just came this way. And
The Dunkerton Volunteer Fire Department tells TV9 a number of power lines are still down and the roads are blocked by emergency vehicles, making it difficult to get in and out of the community tonight. There is no estimate yet of the number of homes damaged or destroyed in Dunkerton, but there is a bit of good news there. Right now, there are no reports of any injuries. Claire?
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. Well, our meteorologists have certainly been tracking the severe weather all evening for close to 6 hours. We go now to Kai in the Weather Lab. And Kai, we're saying right now at least one tornado. Is that correct?
Yeah, at least one tornado. And looking by some of the very, very damaging video there from Parkersburg, I would say it's at least an EF4, possibly EF5 tornado. Now, we can't make that call. It's the National Weather Service that will make that call. They'll be sending out a damage survey as soon as they possibly can. For now, though, we'll check out live pinpoint Doppler radar. We do have some more warnings to talk about. The good news is they are not severe thunderstorm, or they are not tornado warnings right now, excuse me. To the south of Monroe, we do have one severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Also to the west of Dubuque, we've been under this severe thunderstorm warning. Dubuque and points to the west, Dubuque County and also Delaware County for about the last hour and a half. Torrential rains and some hail involved there. Down to the south, west-northwest of Cedar Rapids, we're continuing to track this storm, and it's actually of a little bit greater concern right now because this storm is out there. It's all on its own, and similar to how these other tornadoes have begun to develop, back just to the south of Traer, you see that kind of curved shape in the radar return right there. We call that kind of a hook echo return. So we're keeping a very close eye on this storm as well. Down to the south, we're continuing to see more storms develop and push on off towards the northeast. Almost every county these storms encounter will have a severe thunderstorm warning with them, and destructive winds in excess of 70 miles per hour will be the possibility. Here's a look at the radar loop, and you can see those storms are indeed moving in our direction. We've had a lot of lightning with these storms as well. In fact, lightning hit some things over there in Ankeny and started a house on fire, so lots of lightning with these as well. And across the upper Midwest, we are not alone. Look at all the tornado watch boxes out there right now. All this activity will be sliding through the TV9 viewing area overnight tonight. And as a result, we do have a tornado watch. Basically, it does not include Decorah or Charles City, but for the rest of us, this tornado watch is in effect right now, and it will stay in effect until 3 a.m. So certainly, it's going to be a long night here in the Weather Lab. We'll continue to take damage reports. We'll continue to monitor the situation as well. And certainly, I think we're going to have another 4 to 5 hours of fairly active weather here to move across at least the eastern portion of the state of Iowa. And again, we do have that threat for some damaging winds overnight tonight. Certainly, if any warnings come out additional during the newscast, we'll be sure and tell you about them. Claire?
Okay, thank you, Kai. We will be checking back in with you and Joan just a little while here.
Alrighty.
Thanks. Well, another town that found itself in the path of the tornado was the community of Hazleton. Now, take a look at this video shot by Shannon and Vicki Davison. You can see how the tornado literally ripped up mobile homes, tossed them in the fields. Power lines have been toppled along the roads in and out of Hazleton, making travel very, very dangerous in the area. The tornado stripped many of the trees of their leaves, of their branches. Heavy rains from the storm also drained across freshly planted fields, filling culverts with deep, muddy water. Now, officials just notified TV9 they have opened up a shelter in Hazleton. The American Red Cross is helping residents at the First Presbyterian Church on 103rd Street. Other shelters are also open at Applington Middle School and Dunkerton Community School. Well, KCRG-TV9 producer Travis Backenstedt visited the town of Dunkerton this afternoon, talked with many of the families, and he tells us now about one family who lost their memories in today's storm.
This is all that's left of Dennis and Julie McGee's home.
Those are my husband's high school medals. Yeah. Is that right?
Julie is standing in her bedroom. The walls and the ceiling are gone, sucked away by a tornado.
Yep, this is supposed to be a gift for a niece.
The McGees lived in this home for 6 years. It was handed down to them by Dennis's grandfather. Mom, Dad, and the 3 kids escaped without harm, but they can't find the family dog.